See if we can go early. All right. So we're live a little early.
Yeah.
On a
Friday
freaky
the 13th.
Friday the 13th, right?
Yep.
Man, a lot to talk about, right? Like, I know you want to jump into yesterday. I know there's a lot there to talk about.
There's a lot there.
What do you want to talk about yesterday?
Oh, where do I begin? I mean, start with the NBA, obviously. James Harden. It makes me sick. The NBA's been making me sick lately. It's just a lot of scripted theater is what it looks like. But let's just get to James Harden. I mean, this guy's washed up, man. I mean, it's clear as day. He is not who he used to be. And it's just funny to me how they trade away Ben Simmons to get a guy who shoots 2 times in a fourth quarter, actually a second half with the season on the line elimination game. So you traded Ben Simmons for Ben Simmons. And it's uncalled for. These guys make $200+ millions of dollars. We go back to the KD series when we were talking about how is KD all of a sudden not being. These guys don't perform under the pressure and don't get any repercussions outside of just a little bit of media, hate for a couple days, and that's it. I mean, I feel bad for Joel Embiid.
Is someone going to be crazy enough to pay Harden the max contract?
No shot.
There's no way, right?
No
way, right?
No shot. First of all, he's 32 years old. Second of all, this is now a thing for him to shrink in the playoffs. Obviously, it's been a thing, but this is the tip of the iceberg here. Stephen A. Smith said it perfect today. On crutches with one leg, the offensive talent he is should be able to shoot more than 2 times in a half, especially with your team needing you. And it just looked like he did it on purpose. That's how bad he looked last night. And I could see Maxi's frustration on the sideline, throwing the cushion chair, getting in his face. Embiid kind of wanted to kill him, but also didn't want to look like that guy. So he said we all should have been better. But, man, it really bothers me what James Harden is about. And he got paid, he got that money, and then ever since that, he's been awful. He's been wanting to get traded. He's been not showing up in big games. He does what he wants. He lost a step. He looks out of shape. James Harden is not a superstar anymore. It's just plain and simple.
Well, I definitely there's no room to argue any of those points. Zero. There's zero room to argue or disagree. He I don't know. He looked disinterested. He did not care.
But explain game 4 then. Just 2 games ago, he was doing what he used to do, yelling at the top of his lungs like, oh, okay, he was passionate. He actually wanted to play well. He is happy he got that monkey off. He turns around and has 2 of the worst performances he's ever had. I mean,
he's a front runner. It's a front runner.
It just gets me angry as an NBA fan. Like, it's just
you were a big Harden guy. You were a big Harden supporter.
Not that I was a big Harden guy. I just don't get what we're watching sometimes from these superstars.
Does that make then are we? Listen, we're in the day and age of if they can put the ball in the basket, we think they're great. That's what makes them.
Remember that rule change that the NBA had with the foul, the pump that they don't call those fouls anymore. Ever since that rule happened, Harden hasn't been the same.
Well, listen, they have gone out of their way to make it easier and easier for people to score baskets. This whole thing where you get the Euro step, where you get the 3 steps to the back, you can be 3 feet in front of the 3-point line and jump backwards after you picked up your dribble. And
Harden started that.
Listen, it's people should not get angry. This is why I keep saying you cannot compare this generation to the guys in the 80s and 90s because the mental makeup of these players is different. They're softer. They're not held accountable for their actions.
They're not. They're not. He just goes about his day now. He's going to probably fly to meet with his rapper friends. They're going to go out, pop bottles. They're going to get beautiful women, and he's not going to give a shit. And that's not right with me because, listen, Philly's a sports city. They wanted this bad. When they got Harden, they were hyped up. Man, it's just I feel bad for them, man, because that's just unacceptable. And it's crazy. It's funny. Jimmy Butler walks off the court. I love what he said. Tobias Harris over me? Tobias Harris over me? I love that because they decided to give Tobias Harris a max deal and get rid of Jimmy Butler. And I knew when that happened, it was a disaster.
Here's where me and you definitely differ. In that I believe because of who Jimmy Butler is, mentally. Mentally, his confidence. He wants to take over the
He's
game.
a killer.
I think he's a top 10 player in the league. I
He's
know
a
that you
killer.
don't.
You exactly, because exactly what we're criticizing is the
Yeah,
opposite with Jimmy
he's the
Butler.
opposite. He's the
Yes,
exact opposite of that.
exactly.
That's what I want to see. That's why I don't put Tatum up there. And you know who else? I wouldn't put Tatum or Brown, because I think Tatum and Brown are a lot like KD and James Harden. They're front runners, and when things get tough, they don't demand the ball. They don't have the respect of all the teammates to give them the ball and say, take over. Get us there. Get us there. You
And
see the
guess what?
top guys, they get us there.
And look who's
And
looking
those
like
guys
the
don't.
top guy, Luka Doncic, man. This kid is unbelievable, bro.
Yeah.
Because first of all, he looks slow. He doesn't look in shape, and the
Yeah.
pace he plays in, and the killer. He looks like a baby face, bro. This guy is a kill. He's out there talking trash. He wants to kill
Yeah.
you. Him and Booker's rivalry right now, you could just see it in his face yesterday. How bad he wanted to showboat Devin Booker, and this guy's unstoppable. It looks like
Yeah.
he doesn't even move, and you can't stop him. And
Yeah.
this kid is just getting started. Listen, I don't know if they're going to go into Phoenix and win. They haven't won on the road there yet, and they're two different teams. Phoenix has shown in this series there have been two different teams at home and away. And
Yeah.
like I said with the scripted theater, I think it's kind of been like they want Luka to force a game 7 for the big, Sunday afternoon game 7
Yeah.
versus the number 1 seed. But I think next year, I'm gonna predict this. I think Rudy Gobert goes to Dallas to pair up with Luka Doncic, and then that's a formidable. Because listen, Luka needs shooters around. They have that. They got shooters around them. They just don't have that other guy, that other piece that is the piece to the puzzle for Luka. And I think a Rudy
Listen,
Gobert would be that piece.
I'm a big believer in Jalen Brunson. I am a big
Oh
believer
yeah,
in this guy.
absolutely. I love Jalen
This
Brunson.
guy, he's battle tested with Jay Wright, right? Have you seen the clip? Have you seen the clip floating around of when Villanova won on that last second shot and Jay Wright's going up and down the sidelines and he has no reaction when the guy hits the shot, like he thought the guy was going to make it and he made it.
Yeah.
It was to win the national championship on the last shot.
Yep.
He just turns and he walks over to shake the coach's hand. He's not up there jumping up and down. The amount of confidence and the amount of discipline that guy probably installed in all of his players over the last 20 years is off the charts.
Yeah. And Jalen Brunson breeds that.
Absolutely, man. They're just, no situation is too big for them. That's what I will say about Jay Wright. Is his players come out and they seem to be better in the NBA. They seem to keep evolving. He gets people and he gets them to get the best out of them, and he puts them in positions that when they get to the next level, they still get better than people thought they were going to be.
Yes.
Does that make
absolutely,
sense?
Absolutely.
So
I think Mikal Bridges is starting to become better than everyone thought he was going to be too, and he was a Villanova guy. But listen, Luka's reminded me a lot of LeBron back in the day when he carried that Cavs team here, because there's nothing really on this Dallas team outside a couple good players to be able to make these runs and bang with the best teams in the league. Luka is special, and that's the face of that's heading for the face of the league going forward. I'm excited to see Game 7. There's so much pressure on Chris Paul and Devin Booker now in this Game 7. Luka's going to go in there, play loose and try to do that thing that no one wants to see in Phoenix, and that's break their hearts. I think Luka has that ability, so I'm not ruling it out, man. Because Phoenix, man, that's another thing. Like, you just don't see the consistency in the NBA. So me and you, we usually on the other side of the NBA. You hate the NBA. It's just getting too inconsistent and scripted theater for me. I'm gonna fall back from betting the NBA for a little. Like, my pick of the days, I've been scorching hot in hockey. I'm sticking to hockey from now on, bro.
You are on fire in hockey. There's no doubt about it. Speaking of hockey, all right.
Yeah.
Bruins, baby.
Bruins did what they had to do. They had to hold serve at home, get to a Game 7.
This was a team that was down 0-2. They had been outscored 11-3 or 11-4. The series looked over, and I said to you, all I can do is pray we can get to a Game 7.
That's all you could do.
Just
That's all you want to do.
Game 7. We weren't going to win 4 in a row, but there was a chance we could get to Game 7. And in Game 7 comes down to one thing.
Yeah.
Which goalie outplays the other goalie?
It's true.
And right now, Swayman's not a great goalie, but Ronta's not playing great either. So listen.
Ronta doesn't have playoff experience, so there's not that going for them at all.
listen, I'm just happy. I'm
Listen,
extremely
Boston has
excited
the
that they're there.
veteran team, the guys who've been there before and have played at a high level before. In a game
Yeah.
7, that's what's dangerous. That's why I feel for the Leafs right now. They should be
So
scared going home. They should
so
be.
yeah, we're going to talk about that in a second. But I went to so I'm out in Nebraska. I wanted to go to a sports bar, watch the games. So I get there, I'm watching the games. There wasn't a cloud in the sky when I went in. Not a cloud in the sky. So near the end of the first period, the TV starts flickering. I'm like, what the heck? What's going on here? I'm on beer too, and I'm like, well, what's the problem? They're like, oh, there's a big storm outside. I go, storm outside? Wasn't a cloud in the sky. 10 minutes later, no TV. All the TVs are off,
There's
and
nothing
I'm just
worse
looking.
as a sport fan watching all these
Listen,
sports and then the TVs go out.
I'm looking at my phone, and all of a sudden, it's power play after power play after power play after power play for Carolina, and I'm sitting here not able to watch it. I don't know what's going on, and I'm like, I'm out of here. I gotta get out of here. So I pay my bill. She goes, you're leaving. I'm like, yeah, the TVs are out. She goes, yeah, but it's not our fault. What? What does that mean? I'm supposed to sit here because it's not your fault?
I don't care whose fault it is. That's it.
I was like,
Unbelievable.
what? But anyway, I was able to get back and watch the third period.
Hey,
Listen, that
listen, they
third period was
clearly
exciting. They
dominated
got
that
close.
game. Boston dominated that game. I got to give it to them. And if I'm Carolina, I understand they play different at home. And in this series, it's been a different
Well,
story in
it comes
Carolina.
down to matchups. It's
But
because
bro,
they can
game
get that
sevens,
guy on
you
the
have
ice.
to throw everything out the window in a game 7.
Yeah,
And it's
yeah.
all about
Listen,
who's been there. And the Marchand, Pasternak, Bergeron, Coyle, all those guys, they will be coming out for their next. So it's you got to throw everything in the past out the window. Anything could happen in a game 7. So Boston's got a shot. We'll see what
all right.
happens.
And the guy that's the happiest guy in the world today is Drake. Drake hit on his big game 7
Yeah,
bet, right?
$100,000 bet that the Lightning Leafs game, a series goes to game 7. And it's had to be a little weird feeling because I'm sure he wanted the Leafs to win that game and end that series. But at the same time, he wanted that bet to hit. So now let's see if that bet is worth the Leafs maybe possibly getting eliminated in game 7, because that's the one team no one wants to see in a game 7.
Well, what did I tell you? What was my text to you last night about that game? If anybody's in net for Tampa Bay other than Vasilevsky,
He
that
won the
series
game.
is over.
Yeah.
The game was over. I don't think I've seen a guy that good against that kind of talent in that situation before.
He just knows how to knows how to put his body in
There
the
was
right place at the right time. He just
there
has
was
a
at least
feel.
2 or 3 one-on goalies to end the series,
Yeah.
and he stopped them.
With
He
ease.
literally
too.
stopped them.
Calmly stopped them. There was
So
a couple of
going in,
times where when they're at the top of the key and they send that with all the traffic in the front, I thought it was
yeah,
going to find a way, and he just knows where to be. Like there's just
yeah.
something about that. And I don't even want to jump to the Oilers yet, but this hockey playoffs has
Listen,
been unbelievable, really.
this thing's going to 7, and I think Tampa Bay is the favorite going into Game 7 because of Vasilevsky. I think you've got the defending champion,
Great point.
back-to-back champion, and they have Vasilevsky. I think they're the favorite going into that game.
Especially with all the pressure on the Leafs, and this is the type of pressure that you play nervous, and that's not what you can do in this game.
Think about this. This team's gone out in the first round like 5 or 6 times in a row. At one time, they had a 3-1 lead against the Bruins like 7-8 years ago, and they blew that. They blew a 3-goal lead in a game 7 against the Bruins.
And listen, they were down 2-0 yesterday, where it's like, all right, Tampa did their thing. Toronto could start, mentally getting ready for a game 7. But then to come back and take the lead with 3 quick goals, end of the second period, going into the third, saying we just got to win one more period, guys, and we get through our hardest hurdle.
Yeah.
And to not come through with that W, that ride back home, and now all the pressure leading up to tomorrow, it's gotta be heavy, bro. It's gotta be heavy.
Yeah. So I think that the stat that we keep hearing about Tampa Bay, which is it's crazy, they've won 17 games in a row that they've won after losing a playoff game. They've won the next game 17 times in a row. So they haven't lost back to back. That's the heart of a champion.
That is the heart of a champion. And I want to know what their record is and when they're facing elimination. Obviously, last night was one of those that would have, like in a game 7, like what's their flawless? I'm sure it's flawless in the last 3 years with this team.
You know what's crazy to me is is we keep talking about goalie, and I consider Vasilevsky to be the best goalie in the NHL and probably
Yeah,
the world right now. You know he's on a $1 million a year contract. That's all he's making.
really.
These guys, yeah, I looked into it last night. I was trying to figure out, is this the highest? I thought maybe he was going to be the highest paid guy in hockey. It said he's on a $1 million a year contract.
Wow.
How is that possible? That guy is single-handedly, not single-handedly, but a
No, but
very big
he's
reason.
definitely been the best goalie in the last 3 seasons. He's been the best goalie in hockey. So that is kind of like a slap in the face almost, unless they're going to reward him when his contract ends with a big contract. Who knows? Because
Maybe.
goalies do play long in their careers.
So,
I'm interested to see that game. Obviously, Edmonton last night, play of the day goes 3 in a row. I'm trying to get to 10. I told everybody. Oilers went up 3-0. I thought that it was over, and they overturned that goal for some reason. The Kings fought back 2-2, but the
yeah,
better team prevailed. They were calm and they never faltered. And I think they're going to easily go back home and win. Now, Edmonton's a ruckus place. That crowd's going to be crazy, and I don't think the Kings are going to win 2 straight in the building. So Edmonton did what they had to do, like I thought they would, and it should be Edmonton prevailing. We will get the Battle of Alberta, I think, next round. Calgary versus Edmonton.
that'd be pretty crazy, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
That's a
One
crazy
little
playoff.
community in Canada gets 2 big-time hockey programs. That's been a long time coming for these two. It's going to be
Yeah.
awesome.
It should be awesome. It should
Yeah.
be really cool. And that game last night was pretty crazy. Listen, St. Louis secretly, St. Louis is playing really good hockey.
You're absolutely right.
Secretly.
It's funny because coming into the playoffs, everyone's talking that's the best series. That's going to, bro, St. Louis has easily won that series. You
Yeah.
know, you got to give Wild a credit for winning a couple of games, but the Blues, man, you're right. They're secretly playing excellent hockey. And hey, listen, they won the Cup, what, 3 years? They won before
3 years ago.
before
Yeah,
the Lightning.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
it could go Blues, Lightning. It could be Blues. You can't write them off. They're playing great. You're right. They're going under the radar.
All right. Well, yesterday in baseball, some crazy things happened. To me, the craziest story is this Bryce Harper story. This Bryce Harper story is blowing my mind.
Yeah.
He's injured to the point to where he can't throw, and he's going to get a shot. But when he gets the shot, right? But when he gets the shot, he's going to need to miss 2 games to recover from the shot before he can swing again. He can swing now. He's going to get a shot. Then he can't play for 2 games. Then he'll be able to play for 4 weeks after
As
the
a
shot,
DH.
but only as a DH, not throwing the ball.
See, to me, what kind of ligament is injured in his arm or shoulder that he could not throw, but he could swing with force? That doesn't make any sense to me.
He hit a home run yesterday.
Hit a home run yesterday with this problem.
Why is he getting a shot?
When you said he hit a home run, I had to make sure I looked and I said, what? Because I thought he was out when you told me that.
Listen, I heard surgery, can't throw 4 to 6 weeks. I'm like, okay, this dude's done.
Yeah.
I didn't expect to hear 5 minutes later Harper just hit a home run in the first inning.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So all the stuff that's going on. Listen, there's a story that we're not even talking about. We kind of talk about it, we kind of don't. Every team in the National League West is over 500.
The Diamondbacks have came back strong in the last 3 weeks. They
Colorado,
got out of the basement.
Arizona, San Francisco, San Diego, and the Dodgers are all over 500.
Hey, we called it early. We said that's the best division in baseball. We did.
But that's a crazy, crazy stat because there's other divisions where there's only 2 teams. I think in your division there's only 1. I think the Mets are the only ones over 500 in your division.
Yeah, that sounds about right from off the top. That sounds about right.
And American League East, it might be 2. All the rest of the divisions have 2. I think there's 1 that has 3, which is the
so it is kind of remarkable for 5 teams. It's not even a division with 4. I think they got 5 in the NL West, right? Or is it 4?
Yeah, that's 5. It's 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got San Diego, the Dodgers, the Giants, the
5.
Rockies.
So most divisions have 4 and they don't have 2. This division has 5 and they have all 5 over 500. Crazy.
Over 500.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And so are we going to see 3 teams from the National League West in the playoffs this year?
It's possible at this rate. I mean, you can't rule it out. I mean, I don't know because they're going to eventually all start playing each other. Who knows if that evens it out? But yeah, it looks like a possibility right now with every team over 500. That's a crazy stat.
I think it says a lot. And the thing that I keep harping on with the Giants is Kapler. Kapler is managing this team halfway between old school and modern. Yeah. He's a player's manager that doesn't buy into any of today's BS as far as the golden rules. He will bunt. He will sacrifice. He will steal a base if he's up 5 or 6 runs in the ninth to get that extra run. He also doesn't usually pitch his starting pitchers only 5 innings. He gets them out there for 6 or 7 if they can throw 95 pitches. There's a lot about them that I find very
They're just a
interesting when
very
watching.
well-run organization. They've been for a long time now. And there's just something you have to say about that.
Yeah.
Consistency in organizations with all the moving pieces that come in sports for a team to constantly be good, that says a lot. And then Giants are one of those teams.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm just looking forward to all of this going on. Did you see the little beef and the rant today between Noah Syndergaard and Max Scherzer? Did you see
No,
the back and forth?
no.
Syndergaard said something about the Scherzer no hitter last week, or the 5-person no hitter, or something to that effect. And he said something. I don't know if he has access to a no hitter or something like that still. And Scherzer countered with, you can have access to my ring because it's the only one you're ever going to have a chance at seeing, or something to that effect. So it had about. So
Yeah.
Scherzer had a pretty good comeback on.
I mean, who's Noah to be coming at Scherzer about anything? Let's be real. Scherzer doesn't have to even clap back. He's a Hall of Famer, first ballot. Syndergaard has never reached his full potential because of injuries. Now he got shipped out to L.A.
What was that?
room
Was
to
that
talk.
a free agent? Did he get traded, or was that a free agent signing?
Free agent signing? We
So
didn't sign him back.
he chose not to come back to the Mets.
Yeah, I mean, I guess. I mean, we just chose not to sign him back. Actually, probably. We
That's
went with the better option, Max Scherzer. And today's Scherzer day, Friday the 13th. Crazy eye, he's coming, boy. The Mets. The thing about the Mets, they impress me, man. Every time they lose, knowing how the Mets are usually, because I'm a big Met fan, you start to panic. Oh, is this where the demise starts? Is this where they start to crumble? But they bounce back the next day constantly and remind us all that they're a real ball club this year. And I'm going to
Listen, they
keep
are a
harping
good
on it.
team. I'll
Yeah.
give you that, but I like my bet. I still think you're shaving.
I mean,
your
you
head.
have the field, so yeah, I would like it too. But I'm confident. I'm confident with this bunch. Listen, we put DeGrom on the 60-day DL now instead of the 10-day, meaning we're confident we don't need him right now, and we're going to make sure he comes back 100% when he does. And that's only scary for the league because we're the best team right now without the best pitcher in baseball.
You can get away with saying that on Friday the 13th. You can get away with saying that on Friday the 13th. He's not coming back.
He's coming back. We can make another side bet there. He's coming back.
Okay. If he does come back, I don't think he'll last long. What else do you see going on in baseball right now? What's a good story?
The Phillies bullpen also imploded again last night.
Oh my goodness!
Listen, another ninth inning where they give up more than 3 runs, and they tie the game. They ended up winning the game, so it is what it is. They didn't really get killed for it last night. But man, I mean, the bases were still loaded when it was 7-7, so they could have blew it.
This is the thing that reminds me of the year the Nationals won the World Series.
Yeah.
Right about this time, May and June. They had historically one of the worst bullpens in the history of baseball. Their bullpen ERA was over 7. The best bets that were going on in May and June were in game when the Nationals had the lead to bet against them. They didn't fix their team until July. In May and June, you could make a lot of money betting against the Nationals that year.
Yeah, live bets. Yeah,
they had a really good offense, but they had a ridiculously poor. I think Scherzer was on that team. They had a ridiculously poor bullpen. You could go up there when they were down, when the Nationals were up a run or up 2 runs, and play the other side and get great odds and bank it, winning. I'm seeing the same thing with the Phillies. This is a good opportunity. If you love in-game betting, when they're up late in the game by a run, take the other side. You're going to get.
You should have seen all the people. All the people ran up to the window at plus 360 Dodgers, plus 400 Dodgers, all this stuff, and they actually had a chance there. Obviously, it's unfortunate they didn't come all the way back, but it was the right bet. It was the right mindset. And like you said, first 5 innings when we released those on Sport Hitters, you said now you could bet the Phillies, and it's true. You have to take that team first 5 right now until they fix that atrocity of a bullpen.
I'm telling you, man, there's a lot of similarities there. On the flip side of that, they are a bullpen away from being a very, very good team.
Yeah.
Their problem
they have good starting pitching arms. They have good offense. So, yeah, they are a couple bullpen arms away from fixing it and being a good team. But like we said from the jump, I also don't believe in Girardi. So we'll see what happens there. moving forward, what else in baseball? I think the Yankees keep on rolling. They clobbered Dylan Cease, who was the
First
best
of all,
pitcher in
here's what I
baseball.
want to talk about the Yankees. Off the field. Listen, Yankee fans, you better stand up to Cashman because Cashman's making you all look soft. Cashman is turned into a whiny, complaining excuse maker. That's all he is. For him to say, Houston, the only reason we didn't win was because Houston cheated. Shut up. I'm tired of listening to you, Cashman. I'm tired of listening to your excuses. And you cheated first, and Cashman is trying to pass the buck like, oh, all we did was this, and it was already done. So you actually cheated more. I am tired of hearing Cashman complain over and over and over again about not winning in the World Series, and the reason they haven't won one in 12 years is because the Astros. No, you know what?
Yeah,
I
it's
think
false
it's
to say that because they still had to go and play a series. So it's they could say they were robbed of the opportunity to win a World Series that year. You cannot say they robbed you of the World Series. You still had to go and win another series. So I hate when people say that. I hate the Yankees as it is, but I can't front. They are a good team right now. They got a lot of good, things going for them. Their bullpen's outstanding. They get hits. They're one of the teams who score runs. So right now the Yankees are doing their damn thing, and they're in first in the AL East. They're one of the teams over 20 wins. So yeah, you can't fault them right now. They're a good club.
Well, also the Red Sox aren't. So the Red Sox aren't. But
and the Braves
right now, listen. Well, before the season started, I said the best future I saw was the Braves under.
Yeah,
Braves under was the best future I saw. Now, what you pointed out later in the week, what you just pointed out last week, I'm going to go back to it. If you're playing a daily picks and you are not betting against the Detroit Tigers right now, every game until they win 2 in a row, I don't care if they just win
one. They get shut out again last night, by the way.
They lost 5-3. They actually scored 3 runs.
Oh, they 3 in the 9th or 8th. They had to score late because it was in 6th inning. They had 0 still.
But still, they can't score enough to make you fear them.
Yeah.
At no point are you afraid that they're going to be so far in front of you that you can't catch them. You are always in the bet. You should be betting against Detroit every day right now. And again, even if they win 1, go right back to it. Make them win 2 in a row to
make them prove that they could score runs consistently for a bit and win consecutive games. Absolutely. Listen, they literally have fell into the worst team in baseball because the Reds got another win yesterday. The Tigers are the worst team in baseball.
Baseball is contagious. Okay, baseball is contagious in a clubhouse. In that, when 2 or 3 people start to do bad, it affects the whole clubhouse. That's why you see so many streaks in baseball. Everybody's like, oh, they won 3. Streaks in baseball happen all the time.
All the time. Good and
7-8 wins. Yeah, 7-8 wins in a row, 7-8 losses in a row. That does happen. It happens quite frequently.
And that's why I'm impressed with the Mets. Not to keep harping on the Mets. They have won every series they've been in this year. They haven't swept any, but they've won every series this year. And that's hard to do because, like you said, it's easy to find a streak.
Really? They've won every series?
The Mets have won every series this year. Yeah.
I think the Yankees, the year they won the 116 games, I think they only lost 2 series that whole year.
I'm not going to go on that level yet. I don't think we're going to get to that. That's hard to accomplish, but up to this point,
I think it was in August. They didn't lose a series until August.
And we didn't lose a series without DeGrom in our rotation. It's impressive, everybody. It's impressive. It really is. Because you got guys like Bassett, McGill, and Walker helping Scherzer, and they're all pitching incredible. And our bullpen actually hasn't been bad. And that's what usually is the case with the Mets. Our bullpen usually blows games. They've been great. So, and we're one of the teams who score runs. So I love what we're seeing in New York. Hopefully we see a Subway Series because being here in New Jersey and New York, that when that happened in 2000, I was young. I was only 13, 14 years old. Man, did the city turn up for that. And that we need that. That would be unbelievable television if the World Series was the Yankees versus the Mets. So I'm hoping somehow that happens.
We're coming into June, which most people call the dog days of summer, where everybody's sports, the NBA is done, the NHL is done. Really, the only thing going every day is baseball. Then you have some golf. A lot of people get a little down. I love the dog days of summer. I'm looking forward to it, man. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
All right, man. Let's do this. Take a quick commercial. We'll come right back.
So what's it like playing Sport Hitters? Whether you're at your favorite bar or just anywhere. Sport Hitter's unique challenge brackets offers players a new way to play. Sport Hitters allows you to pick your teams and challenge friends, family, and rival players, all for real money. And best of all, now it's every sport, every day. You can get the app exclusively at sporthitters.com. Sport Hitters, challenge on.
All right, man. So we got NBA going today. What are your thoughts on it?
Oh, man, it's tough, man. Like I said, the inconsistency makes it hard to really get a grip on what's happening. I don't think the Celtics are going to bounce back and win the second straight game in Milwaukee. But, boy, I mean, that's what the way it's been going is like everyone thinks that. So now Boston will win the game on the road, like and force a game 7. I don't know, but I will say that I'm going to go with the Milwaukee Bucks at home to close the series out tonight. I think Boston fumbled the series away last game. I don't think they recover.
Yeah.
Giannis is the best. It's not like you're facing a team. Giannis is the best player in the world. He's going to make sure this series is over tonight, in my opinion. He's different. He's not like a Harden. He's not like these guys we were talking about. He shows up every game and pours it out on the court. I think it's over tonight.
What's that line? Do you know?
One. So Bucks are minus 1.5.
Why are they only minus 1.5?
Because
What's going on there? Who's not playing?
No, everyone's
Who's not
playing. And actually, Robert Williams for the Celtics is questionable. So that line is a little. I mean, Middleton's obviously not playing still. So, but that doesn't matter.
But Williams
man.
might play. That's why it's low. Robert Williams might play. That's why it's low. Okay.
Yeah.
That should be a 4.5, 5-point line. I don't understand.
Yeah. Well, listen, Celtics were just minus 4.5 on their court just last game. So now the Bucks go home with all the momentum, and after winning in that situation, and they're only minus 1.5. That's another thing that raises my eyebrows. Does Boston strap up and come in here and win? Because they do have the ability to, if they show up. So it's an interesting game. I would not confidently pick one way or the other, but I will go on record saying I think the Bucks close it out tonight. And then we have the other game, the Warriors.
This is so listen. This to me is the story. This is the story.
Again with the Mike Brown. Listen. I'll say this about the Mike Brown situation. He's lucky he signed that deal before those 2 games. He's lucky he got that job before those 2 games. That might have cost him the job, honestly.
If the Grizzlies go in there and win this game, is there any chance he's the head coach of Sacramento next year?
Oh, he's already signed the deal, so he's there. So
I think he'll get fired.
They're not.
How could you say bring this guy to us?
Why? Kerr's not coaching again tonight?
I haven't seen any releases all day that he is. And I would say if he was,
you know what else is weird about that? Why is Mike Brown the guy? Kenny Atkinson's the assistant coach in Golden State. Why is Kenny Atkinson not being the guy on the bench?
He just got approval to interview for the Lakers.
Yeah, he did. But my point is, why is he not the guy taking over instead of Mike Brown? I don't understand that whole thing going on there. But listen, the Warriors, championship kind of pedigree team. They had 2 clunkers. I think that humbled them last game. I in front of their home crowd, I'd find it hard to believe they're going to lose to this Grizzlies.
I'll tell you what. The person that's got the most pressure on him right now is Draymond Green. For you to do what you did last game and then egg the crowd on and make a joke about it after you just got your
now you have to go home and show why you did that and show why you said bring that same energy. Because if you go home and lose to this team, I promise you the series is over in 7, Memphis's way, because you're not going back into that building and winning. So that's why I do kind of think Golden State. Listen, they put the line at 8. It hasn't been 8 all series. So it kind of Vegas is kind of saying, you know what, we're going to see vintage Warriors tonight. And they're begging you to take the 8 with the Warriors. I mean, with the Grizzlies, I do think the Warriors come out and smack them tonight. I really do.
Well, I tell you what, man,
like I said, it's going to end up being Phoenix, Golden State somewhere. The way that they could maneuver through a series to make it interesting for the entertainment. And at the end of the day, though, the bottom line is we're going to see Suns, Golden State. They couldn't make it too easy. That's what I'm looking at. That's how I see the scripted theater angle. They couldn't make it too easy that it's Suns, Golden State. They had to give you the ups and downs. And I think Golden State handles business tonight. And the Suns handle business Sunday. Rangers, Provilus, Pens. Yeah, here we go.
How you feeling?
Feeling good enough to make them my play of the day. So let's talk about it.
All right. So you're taking the Rangers on the road, right? That's a road game, isn't it?
That's a road game. And they're gonna be ready for this road game. The Rangers are the better team without Crosby on the ice, the Rangers are the better team. And listen,
I'd
Vegas
have to
made them
agree.
minus 130. Rangers are minus 130 in a game that they got smoked in both games in Pittsburgh.
I'd
So
have to agree.
that tells you a lot. And
Yeah.
like we said about Vasilevsky, Shesterkin's that kind of goalie. Yeah, he's younger, so he slipped up a little. He got overwhelmed a little by Pittsburgh's pressure, and some soft goals went in, and whatever. You had to take him out, whatever. But I think he just locked in last game. He locked back in, and I think he's gonna win them tonight. And I think the kid line showed up. I just think the Rangers are gonna go in there and play excellent hockey today, and win the game and force a game 7. I'm confident too. Very confident.
Yeah, you're putting your streak on the line.
Yeah.
So that the other two games, Washington's at home, they're down 3-2. Dallas at home, they're down 3-2. Do you think both of that? Do you think either one of those games are going 7, or do you think
I think the Capitals have a shot. I think the Capitals at home have a shot to force a game 7. They've been in every game in that series. Florida, the wins that Florida have gotten has kind of been sneaky wins, like survival wins. So the Capitals have enough on their team, pedigree-wise and star-wise. They still got Oshie. They still got Ovechkin. They still got a couple guys. They don't have Wilson back, though, right?
I have not seen anything about him. Listen, if he was going to, so it's the same thing with Kerr. If Wilson's going to play, there would be a release that he's playing. There would be immediately.
Well,
there should be a release.
So they played without him this whole time. So I'm not going to make that a huge thing. I think the Capitals can force a game 7. I don't think Dallas can. I think Calgary's found their rhythm back. And Calgary's just a 10 times better team than Dallas. They went in there and shut them out 3-0 last time in Dallas. So knowing that it ends tonight, I think Calgary ends that series. I could see the Capitals winning, and I do see the Rangers winning.
Wow. Okay, you got and on the slate in MLB today. What do you see?
What did I see? Let me look at the Sport Hitters Challenge real quick. I didn't really love a lot in the MLB tonight. I do like Toronto. Me and you actually were in the Tropicana field and saw how that field plays to contact. And I just think Toronto's a good team with Gaussman on the hill and Tampa coming back from a West Coast trip. I think Toronto's a good play tonight.
So there's. I thought the most telling thing was that the Giants are favored on the road in St. Louis. I thought that was an odd thing because I've been sitting up here talking about the Giants. But now they're on the road and they're in St. Louis. St. Louis has Hicks on the mound, who's a decent pitcher.
And St. Louis is a good home club. They're a good home team.
Yeah, and then the other thing is, what do I always say about Gibson? Gibson
on the road, fade him.
Yep, he's pitching in LA today. I would take the Dodgers minus the 1.5. I like the Dodgers minus 1.5 to bring that number down. I want to bring that number down.
Looking at my challenge picks, I also like Scherzer to have the lead after the 5th inning. They're playing Seattle. Seattle doesn't play in Citi Field ever, so that's a club that probably most people on that team never played in. Scherzer loves playing at home. He's electric. The Mets are still rolling. They've been on the East Coast. I think Scherzer will have the lead after the 5th. And then I like Colorado with Freeland on the hill at home against a bad road team in the Royals. Bad team, period. I think the Rockies take care of business against the Royals at home. Those are my 3 MLB picks in the challenge.
So I'm with you there. I actually have Colorado first 5. I like Colorado again. I like them minus the 1.5. The Royals are horrible. They can't score. Colorado's great at home, and they've got one of their best pitchers on the mound at home.
Yeah.
So I'm actually going some weird stuff today. Outside of Sport Hitters, I'm actually taking the Dodgers minus a 1.5 parlayed with the Rockies minus 1.5.
Okay. Hey, listen, in Colorado, the run line is a good bet because the ball usually if a team's hitting, they're gonna score a lot of runs. So that 1.5 is good value all the time because the money line's always juiced.
Yeah, so I like those. That's my play. I did something weird today. I'm not a first 5 guy, right? But we have it in Sport Hitters. So I played all first 5 stuff today in Sport Hitters. Test it out. I'm not a big first 5 guy.
Let me see what you did here.
But it's all no run first innings, a big thing. We're going to be doing a lot of it. I jumped in. I played all my picks.
You faded the Tigers.
100%. Faded the Tigers. Texas leads at the end of the 5th. No, that means I think the Red Sox are at least going to. So here's the thing about in Sport Hitters with the Nerfies. If you have no, it means you win if they're also tied. Because what the odds are adjusted for the one team to either be leading after the fifth inning, or they're not leading after the fifth inning. So if you have not leading, it means you have two opportunities to win the bet, because you have the other team can be leading or it's a tie.
I got
So
you. So a tie is for the no, not leading. A tie.
Tie
Okay.
is for the no. And so by Detroit leading after the fifth inning, I felt pretty good about that one. That's a definite no in my book. And then I've got the Giants. I like the Giants to jump out early, unfortunately, against the Reds. But
no, the Giants are against the Cardinals.
The Giants are playing the Cardinals. That's correct. Yeah, the Giants are playing the Cardinals. I like Hicks, and I like Webb.
He has a good arm, but he has only fastball. So if you could tee off on the fastball and kind of get his speed, you could hit him.
Wow. So I just went a different way with it. I took stuff that I'm not used to taking in there, and I wanted to see how it goes. We got a bunch of people jumping in to play in the tournament, so it should be fun.
Yeah.
Should be fun. What else you got on your agenda? So last night when all that was going on, how was the in-game going? How was the in-game going at FanDuel last night?
Everyone was jumping on the Phoenix Suns saying, hey, listen, they're going to come back. This is what Phoenix does. And a lot of people jumped on the Dodgers late when they were down 7-1. I told you a lot of people were slamming the Kings to win, saying, hey, they're at home. They tied it at 2. So going into the third period, I got a lot of Kings action. And as you could see, the equivalent for all those is all 3 lost. So all those, the public coming back with the live plays.
What about when the 2 NHL games went into overtime? Was there a lot of action going on?
Yeah, a lot of people actually took Tampa Bay there, the Lightning. They were jumping on the Lightning at home. And rightfully so. I was trying to say, listen, it could go either way. I said Toronto does need this. They don't want to go home and play Game 7, but also the champs at home in overtime. It was a crazy angle here in the overtime in that game. And that goal was weak. It slid through his legs. The defender had a chance to sweep it out, and he didn't. He fell into the net. It was kind of a weak game-winning goal. But, hey, listen, it doesn't matter how weak it is. Tampa Bay got the goal they needed, and they might be able to sneak out. Hey, listen, if Tampa sneaks out of this series, they are dangerous to go for the three-peat.
They're going to be dangerous just because they have the best goalie in the playoffs.
And
to me, he's the best player.
Just the goalie, man. They have so many players.
Point is a guy that doesn't even he doesn't even get mentioned with Kucherov and Stamkos. He doesn't get mentioned as a future. But that guy does not. He's like remember Robert Horry? They used to call him Big Shot Bob because he used to hit all the late game threes to win games.
Big goal point. I got you. Big goal point.
That's how Point is, man. He just gets all that late stuff, man.
Yeah, he's a great player. He's a great scrappy player for sure. But yeah, there's just something about teams who are used to winning too. It's contagious. Like you said, they just know that they're going to find a way to win. You know, that's in their mindset. And Toronto has that we're going to find a way to lose mindset. That's why Game 7 is going to be awesome.
And that place is going to be rocking. They're going to have the whole city. That whole city is ready to win.
The outside fucking packed with tens of thousands. It's going
to be beautiful out. Should be 80 degrees out when they drop the puck. It's going to be. Toronto's one of the nicest cities in North America.
Great sports city too. So
yeah, it's a great city. So listen, everybody should enjoy that one. But anyway, Game 7 is Saturday is all about Game 7 and the Bruins. And I can't wait.
Hopefully we got Game 7 Sunday Rangers Pens too, which I do believe. So just to put back on record, I'm going with my play of the day.
Yeah.
We're going to bring in the music or we got the Rangers play of the day going for 4 straight. Lay the 125. No Sid the Kid. He's the guy who makes that team go. I love the blue shirts tonight to force a Game 7.
Go get them. Maybe we'll get a chance to play in the playoffs.
I would love to see Bruins versus the Rangers in the playoffs. Love it. We'd have to make a wager. We'd have to make a wager. Yeah,
of course. Always. Yeah. Life is about wagering. All right, man. All right. Well, listen, it was fun. Let's go watch some sports and have a good time.
Go Rangers, baby.